All right, we got a little bit of a different one for you guys here in this one. Not directly business related, not directly marketing related, but absolutely of the utmost importance to business, to marketing, to making money, to just honestly just living a life that doesn't fucking suck. I would say this is pretty damn important. And what we're talking about in this one is avoiding the modern dopamine trap. It's actually nuts that this is even like a thing that we have to worry about. And maybe some of you guys listening to this have like, this isn't anything new to you. Maybe you're advanced and you're already woke and you get it. If so, I'm stoked for you. But like I think the average person has absolutely zero concept of this at all. And it's just crazy how detrimental it is to any sort of productivity and just like being happy. Um, Scotty, you went on a dopamine detox a little while ago, didn't you?
I don't know if I would call it a dopamine detox. I tried it. I've done it for a day or so, like ages ago, possibly during quarantine. I might have taken a day or two off. Just like I did this once or twice where I just took a Sunday off, didn't turn on my phone all day, just went outside, rode my bicycle, didn't do no Coke Zero, no
No Coke Zero.
yeah, that was pretty extreme.
Oh my lord.
No phone. Feels good. Yeah, it does feel good. But also no work. That's kind of the thing. When when your entire business is on a laptop, it's kind of hard to say put down the laptop so you can be productive because right, no productivity without the laptop for the most part.
Yeah, that is true.
I
That is
think
true.
I think that's good to do though as a sort of a reset and just
Oh,
realizing
100%.
how much time you have if you stop mindlessly scrolling, if you stop watching YouTube, if you stop watching Netflix. Like you're going to be actively looking for things to do because you're going to be bored. And if the thing that you fill that boredom with or the thing you combat boredom with is work, that could be a pretty big difference in your life.
It definitely could. So I guess like the basic premise that we're getting at here is that the modern world has just given us an unprecedented level of fucking quick dopamine hits. Like processed food, social media, Netflix, YouTube. I mean, drugs obviously fit into there. Um, I don't know, maybe even watching little motivational videos that make you feel good.
Not
What are
maybe.
what are some of the other?
Not
I feel like
maybe.
I'm missing. I
Definitely.
feel like I'm missing a lot of the key ones here.
Social media.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the biggest one.
I'd say social media and also entertainment. Like the emotional hit of watching Netflix is incredible. I might be worse than the average person, but I cannot casually watch Netflix. Like I'll get obsessed with it. Um not obsessed with it, but I'll be watching it and I'll be craving it. So if I start watching a series, I'll only watch at lunchtime, but then I'm working afterwards and I'm craving to stop working to start watch more Netflix.
Mhm.
And I really notice how my overall happiness declines when I'm watching a series, but I still want it. I know it's bad for me, and it really is bad for you. I feel like it's uncommon knowledge. People don't realize how bad social media and Netflix is for you, and I feel like it's kind of like smoking in whatever the time was when smoking was commonplace and people in hindsight they say, oh, we always knew, but people didn't really realize. I think at some point we will look back on today, and everyone will know and everyone will be amazed at how prevalent social media and Netflix and all that type of thing was or is right now. People will be amazed that people weren't worried about the health consequences of that.
I hope that that's the case, but I'm honestly not 100% convinced that that will ever be the case because literally all the most powerful people and corporations in the world, they make money by getting you addicted to these fucking quick dopamine hits. And it's just so crazy when you realize and you see these things, you see that Facebook and Twitter and all these social media platforms, they literally hire like ex casino experts, like people who casinos hired to be like, how can we make this as physically addicting as possible? Those people are the people who are designing Facebook, who are creating the endless scroll on Twitter so that you can just continuously always see more new content. The people who are creating the foods that you eat that put just a fuck ton of processed sugar and all that terrible shit that's awful for your health, but gives you that quick dopamine hit that just feels so good. All the biggest corporations in the world are literally getting rich off of you destroying your own ability to focus, to honestly like be happy. It's so crazy how much it honestly takes me personally to like feel, I guess, like that normal level of dopamine, whatever that normal level is to me. It takes like nicotine, it takes caffeine, it takes me scrolling through Twitter, it takes me laying down and watching YouTube or Netflix. It's all these things, and they're all terrible for you. But literally everyone who's powerful in this world is trying to get you addicted to them. And the human brain was not fucking designed to be able to handle this, like, at all. Imagine giving all of these things to like a freaking caveman. I think that they might go insane and just like fucking shoot themselves in the head or something. It's crazy. And no one is really like, I don't know. I mean, people are talking about it. We're not obviously not the first people to ever talk about the dopamine trap or a dopamine detox or whatever, but it's just not a widely considered thing. And I do hope that one day we look back at social media as like cigarettes, because that's literally what it is.
So 100%, 100%. People argue it's addictive, but it's not damaging your health in the way cigarettes is. And I think they're probably right physically, but mentally, social media is almost certainly worse for you than cigarettes. So it probably hurts mental health as opposed to physical health.
Dude, I mean, if you look at the suicide rates, it's honestly depressing. Like, suicide rates, the increase in suicide rates, like, directly coincide with the introduction of the smartphone, social media, of all these things that are just fucking addicting as shit. And they make you feel like, that little dopamine hit in the moment. But I have never once in my entire life sat on the couch scrolling through social media for an hour and then gotten up and be like, wow, I feel better than I did before. You always feel worse. And it's terrible. And I mean, I'm like kind of a hypocrite because we're talking about this. I'm still fucking dopamine addicted in a lot of different ways, man. I've tried to limit it in different ways and try to cut down that stuff. And I'm still doing that, somewhat actively, but I'm not 100% perfect. And it's just wild, man, because all these things, they completely destroy your ability to focus. And if you can't focus, you're not going to be able to achieve literally anything of any sort of gravity. And I think, to get a little conspiratorial on you here, that's what they fucking want, man. That's what they fucking want. And we can't let them do it. We can't let them take our agency, our freedom, our ability to focus. We can't let them do it. We got to fight back.
How do you fight back?
You fight back. I got some actionable tips for you here. Ready? Go for walks. Go outside. Delete social media off of your phone. Eat less garbage processed foods. Spend more time with your friends and don't bring your phone with you when you do that. Actually make an effort to actively limit the amount of time that you spend in front of a screen. Those are some actionable tips. What else you guys got? That's from my notes. I know you're looking at the same thing right now. Yes, indeed. I know you guys might be a little bit surprised to hear that we do, in fact, somewhat prepare for these ahead of time.
I think I think you probably know what the biggest problem for you is, and instead of going sort of cold, I think it's worthwhile to do a day cold turkey. So just don't turn on your phone for a day.
I think
Don't
I think I
for
might
a
have
day.
to do that. I was thinking that I should do that and make a YouTube video out of it. Make a challenge, 24-hour dopamine detox challenge.
I mean, yeah, why not? I think I might do this Sunday, just not turn my phone on. I guess I'll have to call an Uber though. I'll be surfing, sitting on the beach, and just do nothing.
Dude, it's so important. I did that. I did no phone, and like this wasn't like a complete dopamine detox, but I did no phone and no work for 2 days last summer when I was in Key West on a little vacation. Side note, if you ever get the chance, Key West is fucking amazing. Um, and I just didn't turn on my phone for 2 days. And we were just doing stuff, doing various activities, sitting on the beach, going jet skiing, going on little tours around, different islands and shit, just having a good time. And I didn't have my phone for 2 days. And then I turned it back on, went back home. And when I got home and started working the next day, after just letting my brain breathe for freaking 48 hours, I was literally overflowing with creative ideas. It was actually nuts. Like I felt more clear-headed, more clear-minded, and I just had so many great ideas just literally just fucking coming out of my eyeballs. Like it was crazy. And that was a direct result of just turning my brain off, or not turning my brain off, turning my phone off just for 2 days. Like it's absolutely crazy. Because the thing is, all these easy dopamine hits, they train you to just want more easy dopamine hits. And the thing about building a business or doing literally anything that is going to be actually worthwhile for you in the long term and improve your overall quality of life, these things don't give you little quick dopamine hits. It's like you put in a fuck ton of work, you get absolutely no results for however long it takes, and then eventually you get the benefit. And it's extremely delayed gratification. But all these instant little dopamine hits, they train you to need that instant gratification. And if you can't get away from that, you're never going to be able to focus on anything long enough to actually see real results because anything worth achieving is going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to be a quick little dopamine hit. So I think now more than ever, you really have to make a really, really conscious effort. And it's not easy, man. It's freaking hard because literally everything in the world is like working against you in this sense. You really have to make a conscious effort to see what you're dopamine addicted to. Like for different people, it's going to be different things. I think social media is probably like the biggest, most common one, but there's a lot of different things it can be, man. And if you don't check that, if you don't do something about that and just try to limit that, it's just gonna fucking destroy you, man. I literally I feel like people in the future are just gonna be like, what movie is that? I forget. It's like some animated movie, and people are just literally fucking stuck in a chair, like not moving, looking at a screen constantly, and it's just like a sad reality. I feel like that's where we're heading towards. And if you can just not get swept up in all that bullshit, just this alone, I think honestly puts you ahead of like 90% of people.
Yep. And I sort of started saying this earlier. Um, I think it's worthwhile going no phone or no dopamine, no easy dopamine for a day. Doing that and feeling what that's like is worthwhile exercise. But then a sort of simpler way to get started, I think, is identifying the one or two things that give you the most dopamine that you're most addicted to and just cutting those out completely forever. Like just never do it again. For me, that was pretty much Netflix. Um,
So you,
it's just
Scotty, you don't
something
watch any Netflix.
I watch Netflix in Spanish,
Uh,
which you do not get addicted to because it's hard fucking work.
you know subtitles.
Spanish subtitles.
Spanish subtitles. That's
If
brutal.
I'm feeling good, I'll turn off the Spanish subtitles.
That's some dedication right there, man. You're gonna be fluent in no time.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's cool. It's fun, but you don't get addicted to that. It's too fucking hard.
Yeah,
I
that makes
get
sense.
super addicted and like I feel my entire motivation disappear when I get hooked on a Netflix series. My happiness goes down, but I just want more. I know it's bad for me and I know I just want more anyway. It really is an addiction in that sense. Luckily it's not that hard to break. You just have to do it. It's not like you're gonna have withdrawals. Just don't watch it for a day and never watch it again. Um, yeah. I also think there might be a room for take a day a week off that you don't do any work. Now, if you're currently in a 9 to 5 or you're in college or whatever, and you're super busy and you're trying to build a business on the side, you're going to be working weekends. And but once you're more established, when you're doing this full time, I think just about everyone I know works every day, and I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do. Personally, I almost never take days off but I'm thinking maybe I should. And our ad guy Josh, actually, he takes a day a week off, and
That bastard. I can't believe he does that.
and he has suggested that we should do the same. And I think he might be right. I think we just pick a day and accept the fact that nobody's going to get a response from me that day. I might have to do that.
I think that's probably a good idea. It's tough for me because I just, I love working. I love what we do. But I think that's probably a good idea. I think Sundays would probably be the best day for that.
Yeah, could be. Could be.
But yeah, long story short, folks, don't let the freaking lizard people elites fry your brain with all this bullshit dopamine. Make it a point to like make yourself work on things that don't give you instant gratification. And over time, I think it gets easier. It's just a matter of like just kind of getting unaddicted. And it literally is a physical addiction. It's chemicals in your brain that make you feel a certain way. And that's why it can be so difficult. It's honestly not easy to do this. It's easy to do like a 1 day dopamine detox, just like 1 day, force yourself not to do anything. Okay, fine. It's a lot harder to do that over a longer period of time. And me and Scotty aren't perfect at this, but this is honestly such an important thing because if you're if you're dopamine addicted like that, there's like 0% chance you can become successful at like anything. It's just going to be impossible. You have to fucking get yourself out of that constant fucking hamster wheel of dopamine and just fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know. It pisses me off. I think it's fucked up, but it's the world we live in. And if you want to be a high achieving person, this is probably one of the most important battles to fight, I would say.
100%. It's an ongoing struggle. It's not something you just solve. It's you're going to be pulled back into it in different ways again and again. Maybe you start a personal brand, and then the new thing is you're checking your views, you're checking your subscribers, or you're checking Twitter notifications. Then you have to
All
see
Twitter notifications,
that.
man.
You just have to continually ask yourself, where are you getting quick, easy dopamine that is taking away your ability to focus, and just repeatedly try to cut that out.
That's the key. It ain't sexy. It's honestly pretty freaking tough, but I think you got to do it. And I think after this conversation, I think I probably need to get a little bit better about this.
Yeah. Also, after this conversation, I'm about to have a glass of Coke and check our daily revenue screenshot to get some dopamine.
Yeah, I'm about to hit this nicotine sticotine right here. Dude, the Nick stick.
Now,
Wow.
joking
What easy
aside, I think
dopamine.
it's really about cutting out like one or two things that are the worst for you.
Yeah.
That can have a big effect, and that is very reasonable, very achievable.
It's
Yeah,
social media. It's social media and it's fucking YouTube and Netflix. Like those are the things that I think the
those are,
overall majority of people are probably dopamine addicted to. Then kind of getting out of that would be the most impactful thing that you could do.
those are exactly the three: Netflix, YouTube, social media.
You love them, but you fucking hate them. Get out of here, Netflix. You evil bastards. Stop screwing with our brains. All right. I think that's about it for this one, y'all. Don't fall into the modern dopamine trap. Be smart. Protect your brain with your life because your brain is your life and your life is your brain or something like that. We'll talk to y'all in the next one.